Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I will show you how I do my own balayage without any systems at home. I've honestly tried lots and lots of different techniques and it's just never worked out for me. I just never got the results that I would in a hair salon, but I finally figured out a way to do it. Hold on until the end for those after pictures, it will be worth it. So I tried lots and lots of techniques, and as you can see on the picture, it just hasn't worked out. So I've done some more research online and I found a way that works. It's actually a super simple process, so I'm just going to explain everything step by step. Oh yes, I'm using a hair dye cap. Excuse all the dust in the hairs, I keep it in the box with Glenn's barber kit. And yes, I do cut his hair too. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm poking holes for all those little circles so that I can pull my hair through. Then I am mixing my bleach, and this is the lightening powder that I use. And I'm also using 40 volume developer. Now, this is where you want to be careful. You do not want to get this wrong because you can seriously damage your hair. The higher you go with your developer, the more powerful the bleach actually is and the more damaging it can be to your hair. If your hair is as dark as mine and you saw it's nearly black, then use a 40 volume developer. If it's like a mid-tone brown, then use 30 volume. If it's a dark blonde, use a 20 volume. In terms of consistency, I use a 1:1 ratio. And in terms of duration, so we'll get into that later, but the golden rule is to never leave the bleach in for longer than an hour. Don't do it, don't damage your hair, it's not worth it. Excuse my sweaty complexion, we had just done a workout, but check out how dark my roots are. And I'm parting my hair while I would usually part it, and oh yeah baby, the hair dye cap goes on. I'm gonna zoom in real close and show you how I'm using this little tool. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in real close, but I'm just giving you a heads up that I'm gonna look very crazy. So you can see I got some practice, but what you gotta do is when you go in with your tool, you have to point the hook away from your scalp. You also don't even have to go in deep, you just grab whatever hair is close to the opening and then you just pull a strand through. So I continued to do that for another 30 minutes until I had hair through every single circle. It's kind of hard to see in the back, but if you use your hands, you can make sure you can get hair through everywhere. So here I'm all done. Doesn't that just look so weird? It kind of looks like old doll hair. Okay, time for bleach. You always want to wear gloves because bleach can be quite harsh on your skin. So all I'm doing here really is just covering all my dark hairs with bleach. So I felt like I was getting too much bleach on my already blonde ends. So what I decided to do is I used some hair conditioner just to put that on my ends so that even if bleach goes on it, it doesn't really damage the hair. And if you think I don't look crazy enough already, here's me popping a shopping bag over my head. The reason why I do this is really because heat helps the lightening process, and by popping over a bag over my head, it just helps keeping the heat inside. Here I'm just checking that everything is getting lightened and that there aren't any spots where there's not enough bleach. Everything looks good though, so I'm wrapping back up and leaving it in for another 10 minutes. Now, before removing this, I would suggest to remove your clothes because this bleach will ruin everything it touches. Now, you'll have to wash your hair 2 more times after this, so be patient. But you'll see that my hair is very yellow at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my toner, and this is the product that I used. So I used T10 for pale blonde. I'm also using this activating lotion, and I will link everything down below. And in terms of the ratio, I believe it's a 2:1 ratio, but I will tell you exactly on the package how you need to mix this. And then honestly, just put it everywhere and wait for whatever it says on the directions. But I had to wait for about 20 minutes to get that nice ash blonde color. Just another heads up, bleach will ruin your clothes and towels, so will your toner. So just make sure that you're not using any towels that you like. So on the back of my head, I just went in with my hands. I just couldn't do it with the brush. All of this orange will disappear. Toners are just the best. Always make sure to follow the instructions on the packaging, but also eyeball it. Once you feel like, okay, this is silver enough, let's go wash it out, then go do that. But always keep an eye on it. So you'll see that all the yellow and orange is gone. But what you want to do with balayage is you want to ensure that there's a gradient transition from your root color to the blonde. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply some demi-permanent hair dye close to my roots, because that will give me that nice ombre effect. I'm actually just seeing that it says the ratio on the packaging as well, so I'm mixing that with that same activating lotion at a 1:2 ratio. Now the shade that I picked here was medium ash blonde, but I do think I should have gone a little bit darker. The shade you're aiming for here is the middle between your own natural hair color and the blonde. So the shade medium blonde totally worked, but I felt like it would have been a nicer gradient if it was slightly darker. So I'm just parting my hair where I would usually part it, and I'm applying it just about an inch down from my roots. And then you're just kind of working your way down on both sides. Also make sure to get at the front of your hair. Don't worry too much about the back, because that will all be covered by the hairs that you're touching up at the top. So at this point you can use some purple or silver shampoo, and also don't forget to condition or even use a hair mask. And then I just styled my hair, and that was my balayage done. But it wouldn't feel right to reveal it without some before pictures.